question. Okay, so if it passes the basic scripture test, then where do we go as far as finding God's will? Okay, so as much as I'd like to, I can't prescribe this is how to find God's will test because I simply don't know enough. But I can tell you what works for me. When I find myself holding my request loosely, that's usually a pretty good sign. It may be really dear to my heart. It may be something I feel is urgent or necessary or sincere or even dire. Sometimes some of these requests we feel like if this thing doesn't happen, our world is going to come to an end. But when I can be in a place where I'm letting go, or at least open-handed surrender, that's a healthier place for me to really listen to God and seek his will and find what he would say to me. That's a good place to stop and hear his small voice. I don't always hear a direct answer. I don't always hear guidance, but it makes the times when I do hear guidance from God really, really sweet and really, really special. And it reminds me it's not formulaic. It's not do all these things and then you will hear from God. It's more of a posture of listening. I have a sneaking suspicion that God would speak to us far more than what we hear if we would slow down and focus on him and align ourselves with his will for our lives and kind of do those things and get to a place where we can actually hear him more. I can't prove it, but that is kind of what I think. Okay, so there are things that I've been praying for years, and so far it still seems like either a no or a wait. So sometimes I have like my emotional lights and sirens on, like we talked about, emergency, this is really dire, I need this thing, God, pay attention. And then the message that I get is wait. And then I don't know if this happens to you or not, but God kind of speaks to me in themes. And so a lot of times when I'm getting the message wait, or it seems like he's telling me to wait, suddenly everyone I know is talking about patience and God's timing, and every sermon and every Bible study and everything is all about waiting on the Lord and trusting in him and being patient, and how his thoughts are higher than our thoughts and his ways are higher than our ways. And so there is comfort in that. Sometimes it's a little frustrating in the moment, but there is comfort in that. Okay, so James 4:3 reminds us that not all prayers are pleasing to God. If we're asking with the wrong motives, then no, it's not pleasing to him. So this is definitely the case if we're praying from a wrong motive. So yes, pre-prayer, we kind of have to give ourselves a spiritual attitude adjustment, or at least I find that sometimes that's necessary for me.